Hey guys, Toxic here with Talking with Toxic. This week featuring Seb,
Ooh.
and not a picture of him this time, the real Seb. Just kidding, this is just a video, scripted. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, this is like episode 4, so hopefully it'll be a little bit better than last week. That was a very kind of quick episode. But Seb, you have been playing a lot of games recently.
Yes, it's been an epic festive season of gaming, particularly with the board games and stuff.
Is this better normal Christmas for you, just to play board games with family?
It's always been a big part of it, but we've really pushed it this year. I think watching so much beer and board games just made me rabidly wanting to consume as many board games as I can get my hands on.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas is definitely a good time for it. You get new board games, new games, time to play. I've been kind of sad this Christmas because I felt like a proper adult like this Christmas, just working like straight through it, and I'm like, I will schedule my time for sometime in March to have some days off. I'm like, yes, that seems sensible. And I was like, oh, but
Bless you, but I think a stroke can make you feel better.
I'm over holidays right now. New Year's, Christmas, like, I mean, working in the industry, we have to talk to people. Like, ugh, it just makes you hate Christmas and holidays. But enough of that. I guess we usually start with video games. So Seb, I know you've been playing a lot of board games, but have you played any video games?
Yeah, we picked up the Telltale Games collection with absolutely everything in it. I haven't touched much of it yet, but I did play through Game of Thrones. I know we talked about that very briefly in one of the other episodes of this, but I just want to say I really bloody enjoyed it. It's really exciting. The kind of intro is just really knocked me for 6, and then it's kind of intriguing and fascinating, and a few shocks along the way. What did you think?
Yeah, basically the same thing, except I've played like the other Telltale games before that. So to me, I still stand on the points where it doesn't feel as finely tuned and as polished as, say, The Wolf Among Us. But still a great game, and if you like Game of Thrones, then there's no reason why you should not have already thrown money at it. Like, if you like Game of Thrones, like, this is not a Game of Thrones video game that we've seen in the past, where it's just like a game with Game of Thrones label on it. Like, this is like full-on Game of Thrones storytelling and stuff. Like, you know, like, you could definitely see like that actually being an episode. Like, obviously,
Oh, definitely.
I mean, like, obviously it's not in the book, but like, yeah, you could. It definitely follows the themes and very similar storytelling.
Well, and also, without sort of giving any too much spoilers away, there is a moment when you kind of are before Queen Cersei and you're kind of fencing with words with her, and that's kind of the whole Telltale decision system has kind of been building up to that moment, I think, because it is that kind of, it so perfectly fits it during their kind of battle with words.
And the fact that you see characters from the show, like, they fit it in there really nicely. Like, it's not like pushed into your face. Like, oh look, there's someone from the show. You like this person? Oh, there they go again. Oh, there's another one. It's like it fits in there nicely, and it feels organic, and it doesn't feel like you're just they're just shoved in your face for no reason.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Arkham City.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that. And people have complained that they don't think that the style, the kind of, the sort of watercolory painted oil painting style doesn't fit Game of Thrones. But I actually think it fits it even more than The Walking Dead. I know it kind of, in The Walking Dead, it harks back to the actual comic book art.
The Walking Dead is like a comic book style. This is more of a painting, like a painting style. Yeah, I think it definitely. Yeah, it definitely fits it. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Like, I mean, there were points in time that you're kind of like, this looks a little weird, at least for me, because I'm used to the comic book feel. Because Walking Dead, Wolf Among Us, both comic books, so they fit really well. Borderlands, again, has a very comic book feel to it. It's like fits exactly with that thing. Game of Thrones if they went with that whole comic book look to it, it wouldn't. People would be complaining even more. They're like, "Why is it a comic book Game of Thrones?"
That is a beautiful thing, and it definitely gave me a bit of Ironwood. Well, hey.
Yeah, it was good. It was good when you without giving away like spoilers, when the end came up and it came after it tells you which choices you had made. Did you seem to go with the majority of people with?
Oh, I don't think I actually really checked that out. I was without spoilers. I was far too shocked by the ending.
Yeah.
Of the first episode, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. I think I was mostly with people, which is odd for me. Usually, I'm like kind of against the grain, like kind of thing. But I think that's more of the Game of Thrones mentality, because I'm a lot more brutal when it comes to my decisions. Whereas like The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, like you're the good guy. You know, like you're the hero. Like Game of Thrones, like no one's really a good guy. You know,
you're doing it for your house, aren't you? So yeah, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. I think I was a little bit soft. I tried to be a bit nice. I definitely showed some mercy on a number of occasions, but then I also took one for the team. So yeah, swings and roundabouts.
I was definitely a lot. I thought I was a little bit nice at some points, but it's difficult. The decisions are not, to me, they didn't feel so like black and white.
No, there's definitely more scope for answering as well. It's like, again, sort of, when you got the audience with the Queen, there's definitely many different answers, and answers you think are going to satisfy that do not, as well. So you really have to think about exactly what it is you want to say and put across.
Yeah, it's definitely a good Game of Thrones game. It's the best Game of Thrones game to date. I mean,
yeah.
So
we just need the sort of Shadow of Mordor, the PlayStation 2 Lord of the Rings style games. If they can do one that good with that much of story, that would be awesome as well.
Yeah, a good like Civilization style like one as well would be kind of cool. Where it's like they already have done one, but I hear it's not so great. But
That's
if you
the mobile gaming one, isn't it?
No, there was a proper one done a while ago. I think it was I don't know if it was before the show or like when the show first came out, but it'd be really cool to have like a Civilization kind of style, like RTS Civilization kind of, where it's all about like the, you know, backstabbing people and getting alliances and stuff. That would be really cool.
Building your house stuff. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think that they're a little. I think they're kind of coming out of their shell a bit now, because they had that thing that GW sort of has its waves of doing, which is they kind of let their IP go to everyone, and it was all awful, and then they kind of holding on to it. So maybe now that they're fully established and stuff's going on, maybe we'll see some more weighty actual stuff.
Well, I think they actually were going for the more like original Games Workshop, where they were very standoffish about giving their IP out, and then they gave it out, and then it was just rubbish. So they need to do what Games Workshop did recently, just scattershot it and be like, there's going to be a lot of crap that's going to come out of this. There'll be a few gems. There'll be a few good ones that'll come out of that.
Yeah, no, that does sound like a plan.
But I mean, that's what I would do. Granted, because anything that I printed that I put out there that was Game of Thrones would print. So, but I'm a jerk like that. So
you're the master of coin.
I should put on my EA hat.
Making friends.
Yep.
I'm just trying to think what else I've been playing. Been playing the Halo 5 Guardians beta. I don't know. It feels chunkier in the fact that you feel a bit more like big and Spartan when you run and you jump and you punch, and there's combinations that are quite cool, and the zooming's quite nice. But then you feel a bit more chunky like me than chunky like a Spartan. There's a bit more cumbersome, not quite Space Marine-y cumbersome, but something that drags it off what it should be. I think it's trying to be old Halo and new Halo, and it just comes across like another game.
Could be worse. They could be chunky and have oh, I forgot it. The chronic fatigue. There you go.
Yeah, so you're a Spartan with chronic fatigue. Spartan with just Mjolnir crutches.
Yep.
Oh.
You have an energy meter, and when it's depleted, you just have to like sit around against the wall for a little while and wait for it to build back up.
Oh, good. It feels good to be back.
So yeah, I have been playing mostly Madden because it's just my go-to game. Like where it's like, it's my day off and I don't know what to do, so I'll just sit in front of my TV for 12 hours playing Madden all day. Like I'll just start a character and just play their rookie career, be the best in the league at my position at the end of my rookie year, and then never go back to them again. Which really sucks because I really want to play. I don't know if I need to up the difficulty or not, but I really want to play a character and play a couple years because like I want to see what happens like at the end of my 3-year contract. Like, are they going to give me another one? Like, am I going to be able to request more money? Like, I want to see what happens, but it's I don't have the drive to do it because 16 games plus playoffs takes a long time. Not to mention that the Xbox has a stupid thing where every time I resume a game, I'll play it through, and then it will just kick me back to the menu and not save my first game I play every time I sit down.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I think I've figured it out, though. I think it's whenever I turn the Xbox off and I don't, like, quit out, I just turn it off and then turn it back on, and it starts me back into my connected career. Which still shouldn't have that issue.
No, but it's like, I know it's not working, but that resume feature that Madden has is kind of awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have other games, like FIFA and things don't really do that. It's kind of awesome that they're trying it, though.
My big issue that I'm having with Madden now on the next-gen consoles is ever since they've gone, well, I guess present-gen now, is that they've taken away Game Face.
Yeah, you
Which
did
is
love having your face on there.
Well, I don't. It's not that. It's that. This is what bugs me the most. Is that I played the 6-hour trial of NHL, the hockey one, and if you pick your face, they give you loads of faces to go through, and that face is used on everything. So if you do a really good play, you get a goal. It comes up, says who scored the goal, comes up with your name, comes up with your face. Madden just gives you this black outline of a character, and it's like, it seems so stupid. It's like, it seems like there's a missing texture and there's just a black outline. Why not? I pick a face when I make my character. There's not many faces there, but I have to pick one. Why not use that face? It's stupid when I do something really great in the game and it comes up telling me like, oh, I just broke a record, and it's just this black outline and then my character's name. It's like, oh, great, I'm the best player in the league, but no one's come to me and taken a fucking picture of my face.
Because even the rookies, they were like, all their faces would be taken, wouldn't
Yeah,
they?
even the 30 seasons, the 30 seasons that you can have of rookie drafts all have faces. Why not have game face? It's there on FIFA. I mean, it was on the last. A new one's come out. Is a new one come out? I don't know. The last one that I played, the one that was free on EA Access.
Yeah.
That one had game face. Is there one after that? A newer one?
The 15 is the most recent one that was free a little while ago for the trial. I don't really do the create a career. I'm more of the Ultimate Team, which is the fantasy kind of thing that I know is what I normally do. So I can't really tell you.
But I feel like
faces.
Yeah, I love game face, and I know I just liked it. You know, it was just not that it was using my face, but just so I didn't have to look at that stupid outline. And I think NHL does a really great job of not using game face, but giving you a lot of options, and actually putting your face in there. And it's just small things that really bug me like that. But other than that, Madden 15 is the best Madden game that I've felt in well, ever for me. and I'm the guy that buys it every year. So
I still really want it. It's just finding the time and the cash, but there's so many other things. There's just so many pretty things going on all the time.
Well,
it's difficult balancing it with FIFA as well.
You got 25 for free, right?
Yeah.
I should just
There
download
is
that and we should play that at some point.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because you can do a connected career. You can do a fantasy connected career where you each have a team and then you do a fantasy draft. So, like, you draft, like, your whole team.
Do you really want to draft with me again?
This will be like a 60-something man draft, so...
Oh.
But, and it's really cool because they have, like, the fake tweets and stuff, like, the fake tweets and, like,
really?
news feeds, and it actually has, like, people, like, saying, like, oh my god, I can't believe the NFL are, like, you know, shuffling up all the teams and stuff, and, like, there's actually, like, comments as if it was actually happening, which is kind of cool. Yeah, but, sports games are weird because you think there'd be more consistency with them, considering, like, it's like EA game, yeah, like, you think that'd be pretty consistent in the features that they had, but you can tell that there's differently, like, the different teams that are making them.
Yeah, I think they definitely go through waves and stuff. 'Cause there's quite a big difference between 25 and 15 as well, isn't there?
But yeah, it's pretty big, like, if one has game face and one doesn't. Like, you know, like, you'd expect, like, sports game, insert face onto sportsman. Like, where do you go wrong there? Like, but I don't know. That's my only gripe in the game.
I just, every time you say game face, I just have this image of you doing your own show like Ghost Faces.
But yeah, apart from that, I've been playing Starbound. I played 2 nights of that with Heartless and Wraith, which, if you don't know, Starbound is basically Terraria, which is basically 2D Minecraft, but
Okay.
Starbound it's more based on exploration. So you start off with your one planet, and then you can go up onto your ship, and when you get enough fuel for your ship, you can travel to another planet. When you have enough technology, you can go to then another sector, and then you keep going to these different sectors that kind of level up. So you start off with your threat level 1, 2, 3, and onward, and it's more about changing planets. So unlike Terraria, where you just have this big open world where you run from left to right, Starbound, if you keep running left, eventually you'll end up on the right side. So you'll go all the way around your planet, and you would have explored it. And once you've explored it, you move on to the next planet. And there's just, I mean, it's not going to be an infinite combination, but there's just so many planets you're probably never going to go to them all. And a lot of them are very similar, so. But I know it's just a fun game, and they put a lot of work in the different races, so you can be like different alien races, and there's a lot of details in there. Basically everything you can inspect, and your character does like a little brief description of it, and there's a lot of you do feel like there's a lot more story behind it than any other kind of like Terraria. Minecraft is a lot more story and fluff behind the world itself and the races and stuff, so that's kind of cool. That's a pretty cool game.
Sounds a bit like a 2D No Man's Sky. The PlayStation 4 thing, which is all about sort of space exploration and stuff, but although I think that's much less on the story, more on the exploration.
Yeah, in a sense it is like that, where you find like planets. Like, we started off on our first planet, and then when we could leave, we all picked a different planet. So Heartless lands on his planet, and as soon as he lands, he freezes to death because the planet is just an ice planet, and he does not have any warm clothes. So he lands, freezes to death. This is actually very fitting. Wraith goes on his planet, and first thing that happens is it starts raining, but it doesn't rain water; it rains blood. So
Blood for the blood god.
It was either blood or fire. It was one of those things. Either way, very fitting for him. My planet was just a regular old jungle planet. It was really easy for me to get plant fibers to make bandages, but everything on my planet was really aggressive, and there was lots of things just wanted to fight me. So
everything hated everything.
Yeah. But then I found this underground temple on my planet that had these guys these humanoid bird aliens that were protecting it with like these ancient kind of machine guns. So I went through this temple, I wiped them all out, I took their guns, and then I traveled to Heartless's planet and Wraith's planet and gave them some guns, and then we explored Heartless's planet for a while, and his planet was very friendly, and the music felt like really adventurous, and like his planet seemed kind of more like you're playing like Mario or something like that. And then like he had like these big puffy like cloud trees, and most of the things on that planet were very friendly and not aggressive, and it was just really fun. Like what you can find like on Race Planet, he found an outhouse, just an outhouse, and then but underneath the outhouse you could dive down inside it, and it was this huge like sewer system with like loot and things to kill and stuff, and at the very top was just this tiny little outhouse, but underneath was just a sprawling sewer dungeon.
That sounds bonkers. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, so it's a really cool game that you can just kind of get into and explore, and you can find weapons and mods. So we all got like the double jump mod for our characters, and it's a good game. It's still in early access, even though it's been out for over a year now. But those sandbox games, they can really rely on that early access thing where you don't notice it as much, because it's kind of like, here's the game. Oh, we patched it, so now there's this in the game, and now there's that in the game, and you don't notice it as much on like a sandbox kind of crafting game. You don't notice like the things that are missing, if you know what I mean. Like it's not as like Minecraft was in its like alpha and beta steps for a long time, and now it's technically not, but they still just randomly will add stuff into the game. So that's kind of where Starbound is out. It's basically a full game, but they just keep adding stuff.
That's awesome. I definitely have to want to check that out now.
Yeah, it's really fun. Tabletop Simulator, I mentioned that last week, I believe. That's really awesome. Like, basically Vassal, but 3D and physics based. So have fun playing a board game with Savage in there. Just throwing it out there, because when you can pick up your piece, enlarge it, so your one token, like, this big is now like this big, and then drop it on the table and just smash all the other pieces. I have fun playing that with him.
The video on Steam is people just smashing apart chess sets, and I imagine he's like that with the most phallic object.
Yeah, so I have to, in my host settings, I basically have to restrict everything. I have to go in there and just restrict everything in the host settings before I invite people into the game. Because like we were playing Pokemon Master Trainer, which I don't know if you are familiar with that game. Seb, are you familiar with that game?
No, unfortunately.
It's one that I had when I was a kid, and probably one of my favorite board games. Me and my dad actually built a table so I could have it in my room set up all the time. I never had to pack it away because I just had it like a table built for it.
You've been doing gaming tables since you were yay-ho.
Yeah. But it has a lot of pieces. Basically, you have your board, and there's like little tokens that Pokemon, they flip face up, and so there's just tokens everywhere. So if you fuck it up, like, oh, it's just, yeah, if you flip like the wrong piece and then you flip like 5 other pieces, and oh man, it took a while, and the game is a lot harder than I remember being at the end of the game to actually finish it. But it was really fun, and we basically just played that for nostalgia purposes. I know someone asked me if we had to scratch build it or if they already had one for it, which I need to reply, but I don't know how to reply because they didn't actually reblog it. They just made a comment on it.
Best thing to do is just click on their icon and send them a message.
Okay, but yeah. So it was actually a mod that someone already had. Steam Workshop, they have a ton of games. Apparently, Heartless says that a lot of them get taken down for copyright things, but then they go straight back up like the day after that. So you just have to snag it.
That's kind of the same thing with Vassal, isn't it, as well? Some things get...
Someone actually has Dark Vengeance in there, but all it is the base with a cardboard cutout, like old school Octodreadnought style, like cutout. Someone has done actual sculpted models for Tau Fire Warriors and Tau drones, so eventually you may actually see some 40k on Tabletop Simulator.
We've been saying this since we've been playing Vassal. If companies like Games Workshop and Privateer Press wanted to actually do modules and stuff that weren't crazy priced, we would be up for it. Mm-hmm. If you had nicely rendered stuff, that'd be awesome.
Well, I know. Well, War Machine has its War Machine Tactics now.
Yeah.
And I know that Infinity, no, Malifaux. I think Malifaux actually has a legit version that they gave out for free. Like you can just get it for free from them. They just said, "Here you go." It's
times.
Yeah, it's and that would honestly probably be like. I mean, I would like to say that's what I would do if I was in that situation, but obviously it'd be a little bit different. But I would like to be like, yeah, test it out. Then when you know what you want to buy it. Because the thing that I found is we can never play in person, but we still buy models and play on Vassal. Like, you know what I mean? Like what Savage says. It's not the same playing on Vassal. At least if you buy the models, you still have some sort of connection.
Exactly, and you're still doing the whole modelling and painting is a whole massive part of the hobby, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just about playing the games.
Yeah, so Tabletop Simulator, they have Battlestar Galactica on there.
Ooh.
Yeah, which, I mean, we have on Vassal as well, but they have a lot of good games on Tabletop Simulator. I would definitely, if anyone out there that likes board games and has people that they want to play board games with but they can't, I would definitely do that. And it's easy to add your own stuff in there. Heartless actually makes his own card games and board games, and he has his own card game in there that he did all the cards and everything for. He scanned it all in, and he has his fully functional, his own card game that he made in Tabletop Simulator.
See, I'm really excited to try and get a little play of that at some point.
It's really good. It's basically a post-apocalyptic Cthulhu-ish old god world. So you basically play as kind of black or white style gods, like, you know, the computer game Black and White or whatever it was called. So you have like your little village basically, and your job is to keep them alive. So you can buy like buildings for your village. You have to then assign workers to them, but then you also have events like those villages can turn into cultists, because like the old god, Cthulhu or whatever is out there. And then eventually if you lose all your villages and they're all cultists, now you're basically the bad guy. Now you're working against everyone. So it's all co-op until you lose all your villages and you only have cultists. So you can either win the game by killing the old god, or you just have to survive like 2 decks of event cards. And I nearly won. I was down to the 2 remaining cards, and it was just me, and I nearly won, but they managed to convert my last villager and turn him into a cultist. So it's definitely in its like beta kind of steps. Like there's definitely some kinks that need to be worked out, but it's a really good game, and I would definitely buy it if he actually started to produce that as a thing. I thought it was really good. The theme is really cool, like that Cthulhu-esque kind of apocalypse, kind of like, it's not really an apocalypse, it's more like just a very like just gritty kind of not living world. Like just very like, I don't think there's actually been an apocalypse. It's just very like
war torn and hardy.
So that's a really cool game, and I'm thinking about getting Warhammer Conquest, the card game, and just scanning the cards in to play on Tabletop Simulator, which I guess might not be legal, but I'm buying a copy for it so I can play with my friends. It's like, what's the difference in my mind? Like I'm just using it for me, just using it for my friends. Like that's what you would do anyway. I know a lot of places actually say as long as you own a copy, they don't care if you use Vassal, as long as you own a copy. So like,
we had this conversation the other day with the Dark Heresy group. I think it even says in the book that like everyone in the group is supposed to have a player book, and that's just bonkers. If you're gonna have like a group, you're gonna have one set of books. That's quite likely, do you mean? And that's just kind of how these things work, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, these companies know that that's what's going to be happening. Like and honestly, their goal has to be like to make a good enough product where you want to put money into it. Like that really has to be your goal. Like this is going to be pirated, but we want to make it so good that you're going to want to buy it anyway. And like I know, like you can get codexes, you can download Warhammer codexes like nothing. so easy to find. But they're so good, like the actual book and quality, that you might as well buy it anyway.
Definitely. And they're touchy-feely and all that stuff.
Fantasy Flight is great quality as well. Their books are great quality, full color like books, and
the second edition Heresy book is beautiful. Like, it really is beautiful.
I really want to play that too, because that was my first RPG, was the first edition Dark Heresy. So I really want to see what the second edition is like. But yeah, I think that's really the goal. Is you just have to make a quality product where people who do pirate it want to buy it anyway. Because anytime I download Games Workshop Codex, it's because I've already ordered it and I can't wait for it. So like, I'll order it and I'll be like, oh, I want to read it now, and I'll just download it. And then I've read it all, so by the time it arrives in the mail, I just store it away.
But you still have paid for it, so there you go.
Yeah, so it's that's my opinion on it, at least. And you know, we live in a world now where a lot of people, like, their groups that they do stuff with are spread out all over the country, like all over the world. You know, like, you have to adapt. If you're a company that's making stuff where you have to all be in one spot, like, you kind of have to adapt at some point.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like you said, we're at that age where I think, well, even Alex Index, we're covering everywhere apart from Asia. We've got Australasia covered massively. But we're like, we are pretty split up, and we do need ways to play together.
Yeah.
Which is where Vassal and everything comes in, Tabletop Simulator, and all that good stuff.
Tabletop Simulator actually looks pretty good for doing RPGs as well, because they have, like, models and stuff if you need to. They got dice.
Okay.
So next time we decide to do something, Tabletop Simulator may be the way to go.
See, that's interesting, because I consider you the virtual 3D space master. You love it without a board, and you handle that really well. Other than when we accidentally shoot our own captain in the face. That was the one. That was the one time.
Yeah, it's depends on the game as well. I know that people do like to have their pieces and such.
It's a much bigger thing in, like, Dungeons and Dragons and stuff.
Yeah.
As well.
Dungeons and Dragons is more like rules heavy combat and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like but it would just be cool, even if you didn't use models, just to have everyone around a table to see their dice rolls. Like, that would be cool, just to see the dice rolls. Like,
that is very true.
But yeah, I think that's all the video game stuff I really need to talk about. Is there any more video game stuff that you wanted to touch on?
Not really. I finally got my own copy of FIFA 15 for Christmas, so I need to stop piggybacking off my mates on Xbox. And I've been playing a lot of that, and being really happy and really sad. But that's FIFA for you, same as Madden.
Is all the features and everything the way that you like them? Nothing missing, or?
Well, the thing is, I use, if I'm playing with someone, I'll play the basic standard kickoff exhibition thing. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I only ever play the Ultimate Team, which is the building your own fantasy team and playing online. So, to be fair, if there was a pared down version, we could just buy that, I'd buy that. But I don't really go in for the creating your own player and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, see, I'm really big on my career modes, because there's just something about, like, starting off as nothing and, building them up, and that I really like, and I'm craving that so badly right now. That's why I'm playing so much Madden, but I don't want to play it. I don't want to play a sports game. I want something else that has that feel, but there really is not, unless you're like an MMO maybe. And I tried other sports, and other sports just haven't really done it for me. The hockey was great, but the difficulty settings, rookie was good. I could play, I could do fine, but I was playing too well, and my team was too well. It would be like 7-0 in a hockey game, and it was ridiculous. And then I put it up just to the regular settings, and I'm still decent. I'm just a rookie character, like, in the game itself, so my stats are pretty shithouse. I can still get a couple of assists, a couple of goals. Like, not great, and it feels realistic enough. But I feel like they up the difficulty of the team you're against, but the difficulty of the team that you're on stays the same. So you just get wrecked.
Yeah.
So they start wrecking you, and you're only one guy because you're in career mode. So you know what I mean? Like I feel like they didn't figure that out in career mode, because I feel like if you had control of the whole team and you up the difficulty, then you probably wouldn't notice it because you control everyone.
Yeah.
If you can only control one guy and you're playing a certain position, and the difficulty gets upped, but your AI itself doesn't get upped,
And they're not covering
then you
the
just
rest of the
get
bases,
stomped.
yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck this! I can't play this game. Which disappointed me because I was really liking it, and I was gonna go out and buy it because I was playing the 6-hour trial from EA Access, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go out and buy this, and I was like, yeah, not now. So we'll see.
Actually, speaking of EA Access, Peggle. But then I've already written my my confession and my love as a text post on Eyes Index. But Peggle 2 took over my life for a long time in the run up to Christmas.
Ooh, I have stuff to talk about. Video games, Hearthstone.
Oh yeah.
I got up to rank 14 in the last... Rank 14
Hello.
or 15 in the last one, yeah. My hand lock. I brought a shit ton of cards to basically disenchant. Seb was
The right cards, yeah?
Seb was actually there when I got... Well, I didn't want the new ones, because all the legendaries I want were the old ones. But Seb was there when I got my gold legendary, and disenchanted it in like 5 seconds of getting a gold legendary. So the rarest card you can get in Hearthstone, like getting... what's the rarest card in Magic that you could get? Like a
Black Lotus or something
crazy
like that.
Well, I mean, like more in the terms of
current,
like would it be like a mythic
Like a foil
foil?
Planeswalker.
Can you get a mythic foil?
Yeah, you can get
Yeah.
like a foil Planeswalker or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
so it's like the rarest type of card, and then foiled. Like that's basically what it was. Like a gold legendary is like basically a foil Planeswalker kind of thing, and then I just disenchanted it. But I'm rocking my Warlock right now. He's got... I did get one of the legendaries from the new set, the Dr. Boom. He's a goblin that looks like Dr. Doom from
nice.
Was that Dr.
Marvel.
Doom? Yeah. Is that Fantastic Four that he's in, or
yeah.
Spider-Man, or I don't know, one of the Marvel ones, yeah. He looks like him. Basically, you summon him, and then you summon 2, I think they're like 1/1s or something like that, bombs, and they do random damage to an enemy when they die between 1 and 4.
Wow.
So he's a 7-drop, and I think he's like a 7/7 or something like that. So he's pretty decent on his own. But the extra damage you get from the little bombs is also really cool. Because like that's potentially, like, if you're lucky, like 8 damage on the...
Which is serious amounts of damage.
So like, I got kind of stuck at around that 14-15 mark in playing the ranked game. Like I just couldn't get past it anymore. I was like, this is... Like, I would win, and then lose, then win, and it got to the point where I felt like I'm basically just throwing myself into a meat grinder to find a good matchup. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a class that kind of destroys me, I was like, well, I might as well concede and then just roll again to get a better matchup.
I think it's very similar when I was... Because I haven't been anywhere near that for a while, but I think I was down sort of 14, 13, and yeah, going beyond that is crazy. People that get out into their own special league is just bonkers.
Well, I really think my deck can compete. I just think I don't give it enough time. Because I think, like, eventually you just need to... Because when you first start, it's like 1, 2, 3 wins and you're already ranking up. And you get into a roll and you rank up so quickly, and then you hit a wall that you have to grind out. And I don't
with
play...
the 4 stars, it's just tricky to keep the star production up, isn't it?
And I don't play Hearthstone to the degree where I can sit there and... I just can't play it for, more than an hour at once. Like, it's just... I sit down, I play a couple games, like, that's fun. Like, I just can't sit down there and slog it out to get up the rankings and stuff. But...
That's fair play.
But I'm at a point where I think I'm done with my Warlock. I think at this point... I don't need to add any more cards into it until like a new set comes out, or like they nerf something, or yeah. So unless they nerf something, or because I don't play the meta. Like I've looked at some of the handlock decks that people play now, and they don't use the legendaries that I do. Like they don't use that Ragnaros anymore. They don't use. Some of them don't even use that Lord Draxus or whatever. Like,
Okay.
they. What's the other one that I have? Yeah, all I know is that a lot of them, they seem to usually be using right now is Doctor Boom, and that the guy that you get from the second rank in Neuraxis, that you play him and then next turn the opponent's spells cost like 5 more or something like that, or 3 more.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I don't use him at all. So like mine is kind of more on like the handlock of like yesteryear kind of thing, like, and I just try and add a couple of new things to keep him relevant. But I'm having fun with it, and
That's the main thing.
I'm kind of just looking at what I want to play next at this point. But I know that if I'm gonna make another deck, like, I can't just play like with the cards that I have. Like, I have to come up with a deck in my head and then buy a bunch of cards, disenchant them, and start creating the stuff that I want. And that's the hardest part, because I don't want to put money into the game anymore.
See, unfortunately, this thing's going to put me off. I played the Hunter to death, and I got down to like 14, 13 with him, and it's just the same thing, and I just haven't got the time, or money, or energy to really look at another hero properly and start putting their deck together. But maybe one day.
The new cards that came out in the Gnomes and Goblins, I'm really liking what they're doing. Like, you can now have a mech like deck, like you can, and which is like really cool to be able to like just change, like, oh, I don't play Hunter Beast now, I play Hunter Mechs. Like, that's kind of cool. So the
some
new
of the mech
set
stuff does look awesome.
Yeah, the new set, I was pretty happy with it. There's Hearthstone on Tabletop Simulator, which I was scratching my head like, why? It's already. The only thing I can think of is you can test stuff out without actually having the cards. But it's like, why? It's already online.
And it's free.
Yeah, it's online, it's free. This is purely like, unless you're using it to like strictly test, like, you're just ruining the fun. But that would be cool. Yeah, Hearthstone and me, like, Hearthstone is built to take your money, in my opinion. You have to have really, really strong fortitude to not spend money on that, because it's too easy to be like, $2, what's $2? Then you disenchant and you find you're just short of the card that you want. And you're like, $10 will definitely get me the stuff I need. Yeah, so mine usually goes like this. I buy 2 packs, I buy the $10 worth, which is like 7 packs, and then I buy 2 packs again. Because I'll buy 2, just not have enough. Buy 7, I'll have enough, but then I'll just have enough for another one, so I'll buy 2.
See, this is why I was playing it really obsessively and completing as many quests as I could, just so I could get in the gold to spend on them. I still don't think I've bought anything so far, so I'm quite chuffed with how far I've managed to get without spending a penny.
I actually spent money on the second quarter of Neuraxis. Not the whole thing, just the second quarter. Which is totally, like, a rip-off, because it's like $9 for one, and it's like, what, 20-something bucks? But I was like, I don't want to spend 20-something bucks on the whole thing. I just want the cards in the second quarter. There's one card I want in there. Just one.
I think I will get the set at some point. I do want to play through them, but
it's definitely, you definitely need it if you're really into it, because you need the cards for the meta. Like, those cards are just a thing.
Yeah.
The good thing is you can buy it with gold, so that, like, they're not forcing you to actually spend money on it. It just takes a lot to unlock it.
Can you save up gold for it?
Yeah, you can save, unlock, and buy it. I don't think you can buy the whole thing at once, but you can buy the quarters separately.
Okay, that's awesome.
Which is pretty decent. I mean, you can. The gold system isn't too bad. I mean, you do your dailies. 3 wins and you get 10 gold. Like, it's not terrible.
We said it's like every couple of days, isn't it? Gold packs.
Yeah, I think I worked it out. It was like every 2 days was a pack, I think.
Yeah.
But that was just going on your dailies. I didn't take into consideration of if you like sit down and play a couple of hours and you keep winning and you get those win 3 games, 10 gold, win 3 games, 10 gold, then it'll be maybe even a pack a day. But yeah, that's Anything else on Hearthstone?
No, I think I'm just looking forward to playing a bit more of it when I get the chance. But I have a bit more about cards if we were still on cards.
Yep.
Well, Cards Against Humanity has been a big hit over the Christmas period. Sarah's brother had a set for the band, which we kind of took and we've been playing with. We introduced it to her cousin, who then went out and bought it straight away. It's been borrowed. That's been borrowed by other cousins, and just been played to death. People, it's one of those games that obviously we've been playing it for a while, but people that aren't really geeky gaming haven't really come across it, and it's been blowing a few people's minds. We're keeping it away from more sensitive relatives and things, which is always a good idea. But yeah, we actually got ridiculously drunk the other night and played the entire box. Every single black card, every single white card.
Wow.
In one massive drunken binge. And yeah, that was good fun.
I like it, I just have to be in the right mood for it. So for instance, yesterday Wraith was trying to get some Minecraft thing working and we were giving him a hard time because it wasn't working. Anyway, wasted like 45 minutes trying to do that, and then we're like, what else can we play? And then like Savage just keeps spamming the link to Cards Against Humanity, and I was just like, I really not in the mood for it, just because it was early in the night where we could do something proper. Because Cards Against Humanity, especially when we do it online, it's very like a filler. Like you either do it after you've had something serious and you just want to kind of cool down, play some cards, or to warm you up for something, play some cards. You don't want to have at least in my opinion, I don't want that to be my night. If I was gathering with people and I was drinking and socializing, and then someone's like, "Let's play this," I'm like, "Yeah," but it's the way that we play it, it's definitely a filler for me right now. I cannot just block off my night to play Cards Against Humanity.
Definitely. I do think though other people are missing out not having a Savage to play with. It's weird having a regular group that plays it as well. Was where the pandering comes in, and that definitely adds a whole new aspect, which is interesting. I think
I am ridiculously good at it though. If you look at the group and you look at seriously though. If you look at the times that we've won, I'm definitely at 50% winning, if not more than 50% winning. Because every time we play, I'm going for a hat trick in rounds. So I can get into your head.
Yeah, well, you've definitely got into my head now. Good times. But yeah, it was an unexpected Christmas hit.
Yeah. When you've played it with some people, do you take cards out so they don't see the rude ones?
No, we've more avoided more sensitive family and stuff. So those we have played it with, we played with everything.
I played it at work a couple
times.
times.
Some shockers. It's the British version as well, which is interesting.
Okay.
So there's a few different things. I think that one of the most controversial one is Jade Goody's Cancerous Remains, which is quite dark. Quite dark.
Wow. Yeah, I played it at work a couple times and then they banned it, so...
Yeah, I can see in the workplace it could be...
Well, not just in the workplace, but in a workplace where we have open microphones to customers and then someone's just like, bigger black a dick, Yep. And what the...
Yeah.
So, we're limited to apples, but it's just not the same. You can make some bad ones, I'm known, on my team that I was working for, I was known for making the bad ones from apples to apples, which is funny because that's how I played apples to apples. I played just to have the worst ones. Yeah, because it's a game where it's meant to be, relatively friendly.
Yeah. Well, we've got Snake Elixir coming. It unfortunately didn't manage to arrive for my birthday, but it's coming very soon, and that's kind of from the same guys, isn't it? It's the same sort of idea as putting words together and making stuff, which is I'm looking forward to giving that a go.
Heartless made us play one that was called like Dixie or something like that. Dixit, that's it.
All right.
Where it was like, oh man, I don't even really remember it quite well, but it's a similar type of thing where it's all on opinion kind of thing. Like, I wish I remember how it went. It was like a picture, like you showed like a picture and then you write kind of what the picture is about or something like that. And I don't know, I shouldn't have brought it up without a more better sense of like how it works. But like there's
no,
but,
leave it in. This bit's gold.
But basically what I was saying is like there are a lot of games out there now that's based on like opinion.
Yeah.
You know, like which is good because anyone can win when it's based on opinion.
Yeah. And also just jamming stuff together and making stuff up is always good fun, isn't it?
No, it has to be sensible, has to make sense.
Okay.
No. Yeah. I just know that was your thing when we were playing in our group when it's like, that doesn't even make sense. You're like, it doesn't have to make sense. And like, or someone will pick it and like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And pick it and you're like, what the hell?
I must say, with our cards group, there's two ways it works. It's either that's just the most offensive, or that is the most logical. And sometimes when you got something really offensive, really logical there, the logical thing goes. It's like, come on.
I prefer the most logical things at times, just because it's a little bit harder to do. You know, sometimes like it's a little bit harder to do the ones that make sense, and I'll give people credit for like having the right card at the right time.
Oh yeah, that can be good when it just works perfectly. But like you said, it's one of their opinion-based games. There are no like full-on rules to how to judge it.
Yeah,
and that's quite cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's definitely good. Last game I can think of that I have been playing, and that was actually a surprising hit last night when we didn't have anything else to do. We started playing Happy Wars. Happy Wars has been out for a while on Xbox Marketplace. Kind of feels like baby's first MOBA to me, in the sense of you kind of have your lanes, you have towers that you have to capture, you got a base that you have to siege, but other than that, it does have kind of MOBA feels to it. But basically, you have your mage, warrior, cleric. You customize them, their looks. You get armor and stuff, and then you have a team versus team. You each have a base. You basically have to siege their base where they're sieging your base, and then you have towers to capture where you can spawn from, and you kill them, and you get random abilities. So like you have your character, they level up, and you have your gear, but all your abilities are random. So as the game, you level your character up during the game, but these are just levels for that one game. So you'll level your character up, you'll unlock a new ability. That ability is random, and it's only for this game. Next game, you might get another ability in that slot.
Okay.
So like every game is kind of fresh. Like one game, I was a very offensive warrior. Yeah. I was rude as well, but no. And then the next game, I was like a really support base. It was more about like shields and defending and stuff. And like it's called Happy Wars. The graphics are kind of anime, kind of cute, like looking, but it's pretty cool. You can like build like ballistas and battering rams, and free game. We actually got into it a bit, and we figured that it's actually a very generous game for a free game. All the paid stuff seems to come from like booster packs kind of thing, so you get your cards, like your items. But if you're a free player, you instead spin on a wheel to get random cards. And it seems like they're fairly generous. So like you have like a wheel, right? And then you get like tickets, and you pay to block off parts of the wheel to be like a certain thing. So you can be like 300 tickets to make a quarter of that wheel will get me a new set of armor. The wheel spins and you got a quarter of a chance to get a new set of armor. Or you can pay 600.
360, you say?
We were playing it on PC, but
right.
it's been on Xbox for a while. We were playing it on PC. I was playing with an Xbox controller though, and that was a surprising hit. And it's a game that really didn't seem like we were getting our butts kicked for just having jumped in. Heartless was topping the leaderboards on our games, just being a healer and healing everyone up. then the rest of us playing warriors were pretty much in second, third, kind of above midway, just getting kills, and we had just started playing the game with like level 1 characters. So like
That's awesome.
yeah, it was really fun, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing it again. It was a really surprise kind of hit, because we're just like, ugh, we got 5 people, what can we play? Can't play that. That's 4-player. That's 4-player. That's 4-player. And we're just like, what about Happy Wars? So we installed that. It was free to play, and that was a surprise hit. That was really fun. So that was good. But yeah. Anyway, moving on to more Warhammer stuff. Seb. Oh, before I forget, Eternal Crusade. Did you ever watch the stream on the 19th?
I didn't get the chance.
Well, tough luck for you, because they only, after that, if you didn't watch it live, they only released 5 minutes of gameplay. But there are people out there that frapsed it and then put it on YouTube. So
Okay.
if you didn't watch it, they had about half an hour or so, I think it was more than that, of actual like gameplay, like full-on gameplay, amazing gameplay. But then, due to like their inner kind of restrictions and stuff, with they're only allowed to release 5 minutes of that not live.
Okay.
But people have put the full thing on YouTube. I missed it, but I watched the full thing, and the gameplay looked awesome. It was Space Marines against Chaos Space Marines. The mission was that the Chaos Space Marines had these missiles. And then the Space Marines had 10 minutes to get to the missiles. I think it was like 10 minutes. Maybe it was. The time kept on getting added. And the idea was they had to get to the missiles, reprogram them to Chaos targets. And this was their kind of look at... It's going to be open world, but this was just their little kind of controlled area. And it was really cool. Like, they had parts where they were going up streets and they were getting pinned down, and they were sending like assault marines up, and then there was parts where they had to go in convoys of like predators and stuff, and to siege like walls where they had like quad guns firing down at them. And there was one where they had they got their predators up. This one like town area had a shield generator on it, so they had to go in on foot and capture the shield generator so they could get their predators through. And it looked amazing. It looked like Space Marine objectives, kinda, but against real people, teamed up with real people. You know, it had that feel where it was like, this feels like they're playing a single-player game, like in the terms of like, in the terms of like a linear story progression kind of thing. Like, this is your objective. Oh, you've completed that. Now this is your objective. Now this is your objective. So very basic storytelling, but it felt really cool and objective-based. And I'm wondering if that was their test. I'm wondering if, like, in the open world, if it's going to be more like, well, this is what you need to do. They're going to launch missiles in this time. Deal with it, you know. And there's going to be like, well, that, you know, and then you could be like, well, you know, we could take down that shield generator and, you know, get our vehicles through. Or, you know, someone might be like, well, that's going to take too much time. Why don't we just, you know, storm through on foot? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering if there's like going to be like different ways to kind of approach it from. But it looked great. And if you just want to watch if you don't want to watch the whole stream, which is like about an hour or something, you can just watch like the half an hour of the gameplay, which was pretty cool. And I really enjoyed that. It was really good.
Sounds awesome. I'm excited. Like I keep saying, I say this week after week. The reason I'm watching it is I don't want to get myself too overexcited. But now that there's a big decent chunk out there, I will definitely watch it. Was there a big announcement, or was the announcement the big bit of footage?
I think it was a big bit of footage, and then I'm pretty sure it was like Steam early access, first quarter or early second quarter of 2015. So fairly soon, the early access is going to come out. And then basically what it's going to be like is that's going to be on Steam for, you know, it's going to be on Steam, you can play it, and then every now and then they're going to be like, bam. They basically said it's like pillars, like there's a big chunk and like a pillar like to structure the game around, then there'll be another pillar to structure it around, and then and then it's going to be the last one's going to be like, oh, and there's the final game. And I think they were talking like 2016 at some point. But now that we're in 2015, 2016 doesn't feels like nothing.
Yeah.
Like 2016, I mean, that's like a year away. Like that's nothing. And since we're actually gonna have something playable soon,
Yeah.
who gives a shit? We're gonna have something to get our hands on. Yeah, it's not gonna be our characters, but it's once that comes out, I think it's gonna have a lot more legitimacy to the game itself. And I'm really looking forward to when they eventually start showing their Rogue Trader stuff in the game. Eventually when you're going to be able to get your character and take a look at it in game, and customize your character. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that before I forgot. But what I actually want to talk about was Warhammer 40k tabletop. Obviously, we're still going on and doing our campaign. Is going to be sometime this year. I'm thinking what I want to do at least. It's not going to be something crazy like my 24-hour paint stream, but I think it would be cool if we did do a painting stream where we just kind of got on maybe for an hour or two, streamed, painted, talked about the rules, talked about the campaign, and just did some painting. That was one of my plans for this year, was to do that. So
I think that sounds awesome. I'm very much up for that. And because you know what I'm like, I need corralling and herding into into the paint workshop.
I definitely need to as well, because I mean this Christmas has just been busy work-wise. I haven't picked up a paintbrush, but I keep looking at my models and I'm like, yeah, that's. Well, I had to fix him the other day just because I'm like, I can't keep looking at him with his arms broken off, because it makes me feel like I'm going backwards. You can even see my I don't know if you can really see him on the camera, but no, he's just off the camera. But my big Imperial Knight came off his base because Dana bumped all those models and they fell on the ground. And she told me at work, and I'm like, I'm already at work. Don't tell me about this stuff. I don't want to hear it. Wait till I get home. Because I have him on a foam base. So he was glued on the foam base, and now the foam's a little bit ripped, and I was like, I was thinking about selling him as well, and now he's broken. So.
Bless you.
But yeah.
This has driven you to drink.
Yep, my brisk iced tea. But no, that is actually something I will be selling at some point, is my Imperial Knight. Fully magnetized. Probably going to be starting the bid at $50. I'll be posting it up on Allies Index when it becomes a thing. But yeah, so that's definitely going to start becoming a thing once we hype everyone up again.
Yeah, no, definitely looking forward to a bit of get everyone together for painting.
Yeah. So yeah, is there anything else before we kind of?
Well, I wanted to talk about board games, because board games have been crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned obviously the Christmas games earlier, but we got King of Tokyo from Sarah's brother for us, which is just awesome. Just big monstery things being
each other and trying to
take over Tokyo. Is that on Tabletop Simulator?
Yep.
Awesome. I look forward to us all getting to play that. He also got himself King of New York. So yesterday, to culminate my kind of birthday day of gaming, we had King of New Tokyo, where we used the board from King of New York with the buildings and the dice, and then we had the decks from both games and the characters and the evolutions from King of Tokyo. So we actually had this kind of weird mashup of both games, and that was kind of really good fun as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just bonkers, just putting it all together. I look forward to playing more of that, and definitely getting that on Tabletop Simulator. And the other thing is, we finally, after getting it for Christmas, got to play the Firefly board game yesterday, and that is amazing. It was so much more ball ache and work, and after 45 minutes I kind of didn't want to play, because it just took us so long to work out what was going on, far more than Battlestar Galactica. But once we got playing, it is goram shiny. It's awesome. It's so much fun, and it feels so perfectly Firefly.
How does it compare in comparison to Battlestar Galactica?
So there was lots of discussion about this yesterday. It's a lot more fun and much easier to. Once you've got your head around the rules, it's much easier to pick up and much sort of more fun and simple to play. But still, if you were gonna have a bunch of people around that were dedicated to playing Battlestar Galactica for the night, that would be awesome. Whereas Serenity is sort of Firefly is more of a whimsical playing it. There are again like Battlestar Galactica, you have the mission cards, so there are a few different ways to play it. We've only played the basic version so far, which is actually a bit too quick. But yeah, probably more fun than Battlestar Galactica, but Battlestar Galactica is still freaking awesome.
Because, in my opinion, Battlestar Galactica is like hands down my favorite board game in the world. So I would be interested in seeing how Firefly actually plays, because like to me, Battlestar Galactica, like I have played it mostly with people that have not watched Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah,
and like they still love it because it's just a game where it's like it's difficult, and it makes it more difficult because people that you're playing with are trying to fuck you over, and it's like beautiful in the sense that you are probably going to lose. Like, you know, from turn one, like you're probably going to lose, but it's pretty brutal. Like, I know in the first, when we played it the other day, like the first like couple of cards, it was just attack, attack, attack. We actually started running out of pieces to put on the board.
Yeah,
it was that bad. But I was a Cylon, so I was like...
Well, the thing, you've got the working together but working against each other thing, which is really cool in Battlestar Galactica. But in Firefly, you're just... you have your own ship and you're doing your own jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's sort of a race to whoever can do it the best and do it... There's nothing you can really do to each other. But in a sense, it's quite fun that you're off doing what you want to do. And it's just whoever can do what they need to do first wins.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you don't have that cooperative, antagonistic kind of relationship you have with Battlestar, but it is still good fun.
That's actually what we thought was really surprising about the Pokemon Master Trainer. A game made for children has a lot of screw you cards in there. Like, if you draw an event card that's trade, the rule is literally you pick a Pokemon that you don't want, you pick a Pokemon that your friend that your friend has that you want, and swap them. There's no like, can I trade that with you? It's not a thing. It's basically steal. If you get a fight card, it's just straight up fight. Like there's like a time machine card where you just re-roll any dice. So Roy was about to win a game, and then we're just like, time machine, re-roll your dice. He's like, oh, I don't win the game now. And we're like, this is crazy. This is a game for kids, and this is brutal. This is cutthroat. This is like Pokemon Master Trainer. Like, this is cutthroat. Like, man, it was brutal.
Some of that in like King of Tokyo as well. Like, there's like Psychic Probe. You can change one person's dice. And there's another card which is like, if you get one of every result, you get like 9 victory points, and crazy stuff happens. And at one point, Sarah's brother was about to win with like just about to smash past the 20 victory point mark, and Sarah just like, nope, gonna re-roll that last dice, and yeah, screw you, and you don't win.
Yeah,
I like a bit of that, but yeah. When the things are really aimed at kids, you don't want kids kind of tearing chunks out of each other.
Well, yeah, because we were playing, and it was getting to the point where, like, we just could not beat these final, like, bosses, and we're like, this is gonna go on forever. Roy's about to win, and we just look at each other and we're like, we don't want to play this anymore, but Wraith can't win. Like, we don't want to play, but he can't win, so we're like, nah, screw that. And then when it was like Heartless's turn to play, he was gonna lose his final battle, and I'm like, time machine, you can re-roll that, and he re-rolls it and win. I'm like, good, I didn't win, but I don't want to play this anymore, and Wraith didn't win, so I'm happy.
Isn't that like the unofficial tagline for QuickTime Blues? We don't want to play, but Wraith can't win.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm really worried, like, when like the channel picks up and we actually start releasing the Minecraft stuff, that he's actually going to be something that people sympathize with, where like in the comments it's going to be like, man, they're so mean to him. Like, you know, it's like, that Toxin's such a fucking dickhead. Like, you know, like...
That would just be me in the comments.
But like, yeah, like, I feel like it's going to backfire on us, because in our group, he's like the villain to us. Like, he's the biggest dick and like the biggest villain. And like, but I feel like if people are watching the video, like, they're gonna sympathize with him more than anyone else.
Sympathy for the devil.
Yeah. So yeah. So things this year. We definitely want to do that painting stream thing. I want to do more streaming from the Xbox. Do some GDA streaming. Has to be a thing. GDA streaming has to be a thing. We have so many.
So much, it has to happen.
I know. It's just it definitely does. Yeah. So those are my goals, as well as getting this campaign underway. So
yeah, I definitely want to stream a bunch more games. I think thinking of doing some bits and bobs, maybe getting some old school stuff going as well. But that's something I will talk about and never end up getting done. But see if the emulators and stuff. And I just said one of my New Year's resolutions was I did 500 points last year, so I want to do 1,000 points by the end of this year.
This is what I was thinking: a unit a month. Like we're starting at the start of the year. Like there's a prime point to do it. Like you go like HQ or troop, then like the next one could be like HQ or troop again. Then you go like elite or troop, like and or but it could be for any game. You know what I mean? Like, but
I like that.
And by the end of if you do that for 12 months, you get a decent army at the end of the day.
No, Skippy.
I'm just very skeptical about posting challenges because most of the stuff does not get completed. So I don't want to post it up there. There's the tag for us, I guess. We tried.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. So I think we should also do a post where it was like best of 2014.
Yeah.
I just don't want to go through all the stuff in 2014.
Oh, I'll have a look and excavate at some point. Definitely. Your 24-hour craziness would have to be in there somewhere because that was just bonkers.
Well, if it's not, I'll probably quit. But
Good. I'll weigh up with the one you hear about.
Anyway, I think that's probably a wrap on episode 4.
Definitely. It's been nice to be back after a bit of break over Christmas. I can't guarantee if I'll be here next Monday, but I will definitely be after that.
Well, if you're not here, let me know if you're not going to be here a couple days before, just so I can arrange someone else.
Yeah.
Because talking with Toxic isn't talking with Toxic unless there's someone to talk to me.
Yeah.
So
fair play.
Otherwise it's me talking to pictures of you guys on the screen.
which was so cute, by the way.
It was perfect that we had Darth Sibius picture and then Savage's actual thing is Savage Pancake, and it was a picture of him with some fucking pancakes. Like, and they were like the first 2 pictures I found on Facebook.
Oh, and what do you think? Yeah, no, I like that.
You were actually saying stuff. Did the audio not go through? I swear you were saying stuff back to me. I should have put captions in there. So it's just like zoomed in and just captions. But yeah, so anyway, this has been Talking with Toxic this week featuring Seb.
Indeedy.
Have a good one.
Bye.